Good evening. This is the Board of Selectmen and Licensing Commissioners for the town of North Andover. And let me read a statement pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, JLC 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the North Andover Board of Selectmen or Select Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.northandoverma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so on their televisions by tuning to Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 26 or online at www.northandovercam.org. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So I call this meeting to order, and let's do our Pledge of Allegiance, if we would. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we start off with public comment, and again, because we're still operating under the governor's orders, public comment may be submitted at www.northandoverma.gov/SB public comments. And so I know we've got a number of comments in. Madam Town Manager.
Chair, I know we spoke earlier and we agreed that although we do have some quite lengthy ones, we are going to read them.
Thank you.
I do want to remind everyone that we also will be attaching them to the agenda so that anyone at home is able to read them as well. I'm going to read them in the order in which they were received. So this one is from Tracy Watson on William Street. Good evening. First, I hope this email finds you all well. Secondly, I wanted to send this email to express my support for the current proposal before you regarding the Stevens estate. As you all know, I was a 9-year member of the board. During my tenure, the Stevens estate was a topic of discussion every single year of those 9 years, beginning in 2008. For me, I have been paying attention to this much debated issue for more than a decade. During this time, 4 town managers, including interim town manager Lynn Savage, have all recommended either selling or leasing this property to a professional company who would be equipped to actually manage it efficiently. Fireside Catering, also known as Weber Restaurant Group, certainly seems to fit this bill. They are a solid company with a proven track record, in particular with Gibbet Hill, which is a mirror situation. While the Stevens estate is often referred to as a town gem, and I tend to agree on some level, it is also a drain on town resources both directly and indirectly, and has been for many years. For me, the time to take action on this property is long overdue. It is time for the professionals to take over the site and hopefully make it the gem we all want it to be. I encourage you all to have faith in your town manager to broker a positive deal for this property. Melissa has certainly proven she can negotiate a positive outcome from the town of North Andover, Amazon, when she is tasked to. I ask that you follow the lead of these professionals you have hired to help steward our community and move forward with the Fireside proposal. I thank you all in advance for taking the time to read my 2 cents and wish you all a COVID-free spring. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I'm reading a Dr. Seuss book when I'm reading these.
Oh, don't say that anymore.
You're right. Well, I love Dr. Seuss. Okay,
I do too.
The next one is from the trustees of the reservation, and it's dated March 31st. Dear Select Board Chair, members, and North Andover residents, the trustees understands a number of questions have arisen regarding our proposal for management of the Stevens estate at Osgood Hill, and we would like to address them. In attempting to respond to comments made outside of a public forum, this response may not clarify all your questions, and we would be glad to reply to any follow-up inquiry you may have. As stated in my letter of March 15th, the trustees have accepted the town's decision to exclude our proposal from consideration. And while we are disappointed, we know our relationship with the leadership and the residents of North Andover runs far longer and deeper than these recent events. With this letter, we want to offer some clarity. First, it was our understanding that, in this RFP process, submitting a bid and having it selected was only the first step in a longer sequence, to be followed by a thorough negotiation of all aspects of the agreement, which would ultimately define the respective roles and responsibilities of the town and of the designated manager of the Stevens Estate property. In a recent select board meeting, the town manager estimated that such a negotiation would take 6 to 8 weeks, demonstrating the importance of this post-submittal discussion and the range of matters which would be resolved. We therefore viewed our RFP response as our starting point, and thus include the scope of what we thought could be necessary to unlock the estate's currently underutilized potential, as the RFP document says, over our proposed 99-year lease term. Having long experience in caring for historic homes in well-loved woodlands and contemplating a range of public and school programming and engagement, we chose not to minimize what sustainable management of the Stevens estate could require. Our proposed commitment was to take on comprehensive management responsibility for the operations, repairs, and renewals of the entire estate, all in alignment with a comprehensive management plan to be crafted jointly with the community. As we believe has been recognized through this process, our proposal anticipated that major investments in the structures over time would have been addressed as a partnership between trustees and the town. However, woodlands management, trail improvements, and maintenance, building care, utilities, roadway, and ground maintenance were all anticipated as part of our role, which would have included everything short of significant capital improvements. As an experienced manager of natural and cultural sites for public enjoyment, we are well aware of the resources needed to accomplish these goals and of the risk of trying to do so without a sustainable financial plan in place. Our vision would have included year-round public programming, particularly related to the North Andover Public Schools and youth engagement. The trustees' youth education and public program cultivates a sense of wonder and a knowledge and appreciation of Massachusetts culture and natural history. We currently operate 7 summer camps and 50 school vacation week programs across the state, and intended to feature similar outdoor activities, school field trips, community celebrations, and other experiences to engage North Andover residents with the special resources at the Stevens Estate. Our submittal was based on the general information provided to all interested parties. During the negotiation process, we would have undertaken a more detailed assessment of the needs of the property and created a detailed enterprise plan, including identification of a private events partner. These steps could have provided us with greater clarity as to what amount of revenue we could expect from the core business and what other revenue would need to be cared for the property. Therefore, in our bid, we included a request that a stream of revenue roughly equivalent to the revenue from the cell tower on the Stevens Estate be made available to help in supporting the care and management of the estate. We sought no endowment, and knowing there would be no endowment, we felt this annual transfer to be a reasonable exchange for our commitment to maintain all aspects of the property and engage the public. Had our bill been accepted, there would have been a negotiation with the town with a natural give and take that follows. That revenue stream, along with many other items, would have been part of that conversation. We have since heard that revenue is of central concern to the town, and we would have been ready to discuss a range of possibilities. I do want to acknowledge the awkwardness of seeking to address community conversations through this letter. However, with no official status in the RFP process, we felt this to be the best way to explain the thinking behind our bid. We fully expected and intended that our proposal would be a public document when we submitted it, but anticipated we would be discussing it collaboratively with the community. As a result, we have chosen to prepare this correspondence to put our proposal in the context of the information we had at the time of submission. Thank you for this opportunity, and it's signed by Robert L. Warren, the Managing Director of Conservation. Okay. The next public comment was submitted on April 1st by Regina Keene. She lives on Mass Ave. I would like to express my support for Article 9, Transfer, Care, and Custody of Land to Conservation Commission. I use the trails at Osgood Hill every day, and I treasure this land. I am 100% in favor of transferring the land outlined in this article to the protection of the Conservation Commission, so that we can protect it from development and ensure it is available for recreation purposes for generations to come. I urge you to recommend favorable action on this article. Okay, the next one is from Brad Wakeman on Academy Road, and it's dated April 5th. Dear Select Board, I am writing regards to the Stevens Estate. As you may know, I am volunteer for the trustees of the reservation for over 25 years and serve on their advisory committee and their land conservation committee. I have received no compensation from the trustees. Here in North Andover, I led/co-led the protection of many of North Andover's public open space parcels, including Carter Hill, Half Mile Hill Summit, and Rolling Ridge. I was also part of a small group that organized the passage of the CPA in North Andover 20 years ago. My passion is land protection and conservation. I think my deep knowledge of the trustees and North Andover's past conservation efforts give me a unique perspective. Here is what we know. 1. The trustees want to manage, protect, preserve, and maintain the Stevens estate for the town. The people of North Andover want this too. 2. The people of North Andover have benefited from the trustees' stewardship of some of North Andover's most iconic public open places, including Wire Hill, Stevens Coolidge Place, and the Ward Reservation, which also extends into the town of Lesser Andover to our south. For over 60 years, the trustees have maintained these properties for the public at practically no cost to the town. The trustees continually invest in the properties they care for, whether it be trail maintenance, forest management, signage, or property management. Currently, the trustees are investing millions of dollars in the Stevens Coolidge Place, and it sought no town funds to do so. 5. The trustees fight to protect open space. For example, back in 1970, town leaders tried to use eminent domain to take the Stevens Coolidge Place for a high school. Town leaders had a process that evaluated 6 sites and argued only one, Stevens Coolidge Place, met all the criteria. Happily, a wiser town meeting rejected the proposal. 6. We can count on the trustees to help us preserve open space. We did back in the day and recently. For example, the original acreage of the Ware Hill Reservation was the gift of the estate of Abbott Stevens in 1968. Many thought the field across the street from the parking lot was part of the Ware Hill Reservation. In 1973, that open field was quietly purchased and started to be developed into houses. The foundations were poured and construction was started. The trustees helped to lead the charge to protect that field, arguing a dense subdivision would not only have destroyed the character of the area, but also have jeopardized the integrity and tranquility of the Wire Hill Reservation just across the street. The trustees and others stopped the development, and today this parcel is an integral part of the recently completed Mills to Trills. 7. We have good, long, and mutually beneficial history with the trustees of the reservation. 8. Regarding Fireside, the people of North Andover previously rejected the notion of having a little-known catering concern take over the Stevens estate. At the 2019 annual town meeting, the town applauded at the mention of the trustees and then voted overwhelmingly to reject the catering company. 9. After the 2019 town meeting, the Select Board formed the Stevens Estate Long-Term Advisory Committee. The Long-Term Advisory Committee recommended the town engage a nonprofit organization whose mission and purpose is aligned with the town's intentions for the Stevens estate, and any decision regarding the future of the Stevens estate be ratified by town meeting by a simple majority vote. The Select Board lauded their good work. 10. Fireside does not meet the town's objectives. Fireside Catering is a catering events company. The objectives of the RFP included unlock the estate's currently underutilized potential, protective buffer for its drinking water source, to magnify its purpose as a vital piece of open space and recreational land, and to preserve and enhance its significance as an historical cultural asset. In other words, the RFP was looking for a comprehensive management arrangement for an entire property, not just a banqueting venue. Further, the Long-Term Advisory Committee recommended engaging a nonprofit organization whose mission and purpose is aligned with the town's intentions for the Stevens estate. It did not say the town could satisfy its objective by a bidder partnering with a nonprofit. 11. Proceeding with Fireside excludes local businesses. I understand some local catering companies expressed an interest in the catering contract with the Stevens estate, be it with the town, the trustees, or otherwise. Now these local businesses are shut out. 12. Integral to the town's stated objectives for the property, a special focus and emphasis on educational programming for North Andover school-aged children, as well as programs for all residents. Fireside is a catering event company. The trustees' 2018-2023 strategic plan has just 5 categories, one of which is education. It includes to reach 300,000 people a year with family and youth programming, grow our network of education partnerships, and deepen our connections to school and teachers. I understand the trustees delivered their RFP response a few minutes late. That fact embarrasses and annoys me. However, I understand town had the latitude to accept the proposal because the language of the RFP itself said the town may waive defects and minor irregularities. Good, I can't talk anymore. Sorry. And the State Procurement Act allows, parentheses, requires, waiving of minor irregularities such as these in the interest of open and competitive process. I understand the town's outside counsel opined the town must, reject the trustees' proposal. I suspect that we could engage a few more lawyers and get a few more opinions. We had 2 bidders, let them compete. I have heard that many in Town Hall and otherwise want to keep the Stevens estate and at the same time reduce the burden of ownership. However, I do not believe the current approach is in the best interest of North Andover, nor is it aligned with what the people want. Town meeting was clear that we voted not to turn the estate over to a catering concern. The Stevens Estate Long-Term Advisory Committee was clear in its recommendations, and public input has been clear. Further, it seems backwards to turn the Stevens estate over to a catering company and ask the catering company to find a group to care for the estate. Shouldn't the town find a nonprofit organization whose mission and purpose is aligned with the town's attention to the Stevens estate and then let them go and find a catering company? Finally, I believe the town may be marching down a path future historians will see as unusual. I suspect years from now people will see 2 bidders, one from the trustees and one from Fireside. They will see the trustees as a known conservation organization with an on-point record of accomplishment here in North Andover, and Fireside as a new entry. They will learn the town did not even consider the trustees' proposals because it was submitted minutes late, in a time when COVID was causing inefficiencies. The current approach is not the best long-term solution. If the town continues on this path, I suspect we may be back at this in 10 to 20 years. We need to take the long view. The Webbers may run a fine banqueting business today, but they may not be around in 50 years. The trustees will be. The trustees absolutely want to manage the Stevens estate in Osgood Hill for the town, and I suspect many of you agree they are the better choice for a long-term steward. I encourage the select board to reissue the RFP. Okay, one more. Sorry. All right, this one is from Kevin Driscoll on Kingston Street, and then I'll just check and see if anything else came in. I have thoroughly reviewed the RFP for the estate, the Fireside Catering LLP documents, the trustee reservation documents, parentheses submitted late, and their follow-up letter. I am in full support of the current ongoing negotiations between the Town of North Andover and Fireside Catering LLP. As a member of the Long-Term Advisory Committee, I had the opportunity to get to know more about the estate than most residents in the community. Over the course of several lengthy meetings and healthy debates and discussions, which include a lot of financial information, visits to the estates on several occasions, and meetings with the director of the estate, the director of facilities for the town, and representatives of the trustee of the reservation, I was moved toward the idea of potential benefits of a nonprofit management company like the trustees would bring to the estate. The process was very involved, and all members did research on a variety of properties, both privately managed, properties managed by nonprofits, and some that continue to be managed by their town community. Initially, I wanted there to be a clause for negotiating with private management/catering group, though in the end, I eventually agreed to support the vote to recommend nonprofit management to oversee the estate to the town manager. So I was more than a little disappointed and angry when I learned the trustees of reservation had not submitted their proposal for the estate on time again. So once again, for the record, I am in full support of the town manager's decision to continue negotiations with Fireside Catering LLP. It is the best option we have for fully realizing what we as a community hope for this property. Conserve the larger lot containing the trail system and lakefront lot, and turn over operations of the mansion and outbuildings on the smaller lot to a third party for future management and operation. Thank you and good luck. Okay, let me just check the chart and make sure nothing else came in. While I was reading. Very slow. I need Laurie. It's a vacation day. My backup isn't here. Not for this. All right, we're good. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Much appreciate the patience, and thank you all for submitting those comments.
I'm not reading any bedtime stories today.
Yeah, no, we got it. And those are all,
Get the night off.
yeah, and those are all posted, so anybody wants to read them, we've got them in more detail. All right, well, this brings us to licensing, so I just need a motion to move us into licensing, please.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we move into licensing.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0, we're in licensing. To you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe we only have one item this evening, and it's a request of Robert T. Holland to renew his junk dealer collector license for 114 Jewelry and Antiques, which is located at 2350 Turnpike Street. So it's fairly straightforward. I don't think that there's really any concerns with this.
It is, Madam Chair, the application is in order and it is a renewal.
Yeah, so it should be. Is Mr. Holland,
I do not
On-
believe he is on the call.
yeah, he really doesn't need to be in unless he wants to. So with that, does anybody have any questions or comments or want to make a motion?
I make a motion, move that the Select Board approve the renewal application for the junk dealer/collector license at 114 Jewelry and Antiques at 2350 Turnpike Street as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Oh, I was going to say, feel free to jump in. We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that is a unanimous vote. So with that, I will entertain another motion.
Madam Chair, I'll move, we move on to licensing.
Motion made. Do we
I'll
have a
second.
We have a second from Laura. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a unanimous vote, and we are now out of licensing, and the gavel goes back to you.
Then at new business, and sort of, I should back up, although it does fit in with new business, we have a new compatriot on our Select Board, and welcome.
And
Janice?
she announced herself already with the second.
That's right.
There we go. I gave her the look like, come on, jump in, so and she did.
So, thank you, welcome, we're excited to have you here,
I'm very happy to be here.
and, lots of roads ahead, so we've got some new business tonight, we'll start you off kind of rolling into it. So our first item of new business is a request for the North Andover Little League to use the Water Street, Main Street, Waverly Road, and Dana Street for the opening day parade on Saturday, May 1st, 2021 at 8:15 a.m. Isn't that nice? This is gonna happen
We're
again.
gonna try
We're
again.
gonna go again.
Fingers crossed.
So currently parades are still not allowed under phase 4 where we are right now. We're all super hopeful that they may be. So what we're asking you to do is just make the motion subject to the state lifting the restrictions. And then I would just advise the proposer to get in touch with the Board of Health.
Move
Fingers
approval.
crossed.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? I mean, we still got a couple of weeks here, so.
And the other mother of boys should second it.
Yes, I do second. I look forward to it. I hope we
It's
can.
really
yes.
fun.
Yeah,
It's really
the boys
fun.
have missed 2 years now, right? There was a rain and because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
COVID, so. they
I
missed
think
2
they're
years.
due. I think they're due.
So
All right,
hopefully.
so we're gonna knock on wood. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we are, well, hope on that. Next, we have confirmation of appointment for Kimberly Mackey as our town treasurer and collector. And
Thank
Madam
you.
Town Manager, could you just give us a little introduction, if you would?
Absolutely. So Kim is here with us
Awesome.
on the television.
Great.
Kim has been in the background here, starting in February of 2020 as our assistant town accountant. And this is a promotion from that position to the treasurer collector position. And today, she was kind of thrown into the mix since we had our first issue with our tax bills, and she was down in that chair. So we welcome her. It's not always like this, Kim, we promise. Prior to joining us here in North Andover, she did spend 4 years as the payroll manager in the Haverhill Public Schools. And prior to that, another 2 years at the Haverhill Public Schools as in the HR benefits office. Before that, she was also with a New Hampshire school district where she was the accounts payable clerk and the payroll clerk. So she has a long history of municipal service. She has a bachelor's from the University of New Hampshire. And she has been Lynn's sidekick for the last 14 months, doing a great job, and we've all been very impressed with her, so we're excited to be able to have this internal promotion.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mr. Chair, with all that great experience and being a current employee in the town of North Andover, I think this is a great idea. And I would move that the Board of Selectmen or the Select Board confirm the appointment of Kimberly Mackey as the town treasurer and collector.
Wonderful.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Well, congratulations and welcome.
Well, let's do our vote.
You're already here, but congratulations on your promotion, well deserved.
Right, absolutely. So all in favor? Aye. So 5-0. Kimberly, you're formally in the role.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anything else you'd want to add, well, you've got us all here?
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being
Thanks.
here.
All the best.
Thank you.
All right, now we are getting closer to town meeting, which means we start to review the articles. So we're tonight working on
1 through 9.
1 through 9.
You know, I was sitting, getting ready for this meeting earlier today, and I was like, if town meeting was still in May, we'd be behind the 8 ball right now. So, thank you to the moderator. So these are pretty easy ones. The moderator and I are planning on meeting on Wednesday to go through the consent calendar and see if, like last year, we can add more items. Obviously, we're starting a little bit later. We're gonna be working with a kind of shorter, light time, more than we're having right now, but I want to make sure we can try to be as effective as possible. So tonight, we're only hearing the first 9, and they're pretty simple. And so if you don't mind, we'll run through them one by one. And I was able to meet with Selectwoman Phillips earlier today to talk about these a little bit too, since it's her first time. So the first one, and actually, Laura, this will be your first time. No, you were
No,
here.
I was at
You were
town
here.
meeting, but I
Yes.
didn't go through the pre.
Well, we'll have to make sure we
Pre-work,
get you
I
on
guess.
board, okay?
Right.
So, the first article is just the report of receipts and expenditures, in layman terms, it's our annual town report. Do you want to vote on these one by one, Chris, or do you want to take
Well,
them
I think
collectively?
the first 1 through 4 can all be a single
Perfect.
vote, so let's,
Good.
if we can, let's do that.
Yep, the second one is just authorizing the signing of contracts for more than 3 years. So the town manager and superintendent are the only people who can sign contracts in town. We're allowed to sign contracts up to 3 years, and then we get permission from town meeting to extend for longer than that. Many of our contracts are much longer than 3 years in order for us to get the best pricing. Articles 3 and 4 are the acceptance of grants and easements. So acceptance of grants of easements. So Article 3 is when we actually accept an easement. We do it a lot here. We've been doing it a lot for stormwater.
Right, yeah.
We do it a lot for sewer type access and drainage. Very common. And then for Article 4 is actually when we grant an easement. So if we were giving an easement, since, for instance, most likely happens with the utility company where they need an easement to come on our property. So those are our first 4.
So, Madam Town Manager, just for clarification, Article 2, that's something we do every year, right? That's something we have to come back to every year.
That's
so-
something we do every year, yes.
Yeah, so
These
just,
first 4 are just routine matters.
right. But we have to grant you that authority every year to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the town. not us.
And not just I, also the superintendent.
Right, okay. Mr. Chair, I'll move favorable action for Articles 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Thank you,
I'll second that.
appreciate it. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously.
Great.
1 through 4, favorable action. Article 5.
Article 5 is a great article. It's being
Yes.
brought to us by our Director of Veteran Services. If you remember last year, he had quite a few articles as well. This one actually allows us to put on our tax bill an option for people to be able to make a donation to the Veterans Office, so that we can help veterans. A lot of the time, what we help with is food assistance, rental assistance, transportation, people who can't pay heat and oil. And this really allows us to be able to help a lot of veterans, which is great, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mr. Chair, I'll move favorable action on Article 5.
And I'll second that.
Great. Any other discussion?
I just think it's great that our Veteran Service Officer is being so proactive these last couple of years in bringing these articles forward to recognize and help veterans.
Gives people a mechanism to
Yeah.
support, which is, I
So,
think,
Well
it's
done, Mr. LeBlanc.
He does a
Yeah.
great job.
He's fabulous. We're very lucky.
community engagement's all about. So we have our motion, it's seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously, favorable action.
Great. Article 6 is brought to us by the Finance Committee. If you remember correctly, last year, we had a similar article where we changed where we would be posting the warrant. Before it required us to put it in every precinct and in the newspaper. This is actually making it so that the Finance Committee's report is also posted in the same places, which is really helpful because they're in the same document. So we're doing a little housekeeping on that.
And it takes the focus out of it, it's got to be in the newspaper and so forth.
Yes,
I mean, we've
yeah.
kind of all moved towards the electronic world.
Right, and we're still required to post it, but we actually added the senior center and the police station, so hoping to reach more people physically than in the newspaper.
Okay, great. Do I have a recommendation?
Mr. Chair, real One quick question, do we need to also change it out to select board, or does that?
Yes,
That's a good idea. I will have that done as well.
good pickup. Yeah, third from the last line there.
Thank you. We're gonna have to be doing a lot of that housekeeping today.
Yeah.
Find and replace.
Yeah,
Find and replace all.
will do.
Do we have a second for that? Or do we need a motion?
Oh, I will move favorable action on Article 6. Second.
Great, awesome. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously, favorable action, Article 6.
Okay, so Article 7 is related to the Town of North Andover Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So there was actually legislation a few years ago that changed the housing trust general laws. So she did catch all of the Board of Selectmen to Select Board in this one. So we didn't miss any of that. And so what this article is doing is bringing our bylaw up to date with the 2016 amendments. So that amendment to the trust statute expanded the purpose of the Affordable Housing Trust, which meant that you not only were able to create housing, but also you could have other types of eligible community housing initiatives, like the rental assistance program that we did this year. So that will bring everything up to date.
Mr. Chair, as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust, I would move favorable action on this one.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Great, any other discussion?
And let me just say, this
Yeah.
organization does a tremendous job. I mean, I'm just the liaison from the Select Board, but the group is a tremendously well thought throughout group, and they do a tremendous job helping residents in, as the town manager said, with rental assistance during COVID, with mortgage assistance during COVID, and providing affordable housing for first-time homebuyers. So tremendous group.
Yeah, they really kind of, their mission all of a sudden got much broader and much more connected to the community. That's really fabulous.
Very lucky to have them make an impact during COVID, something none of us saw, right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, great. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Favorable action by unanimous vote for Article 7.
And then Article 8 is brought to us by the Disability Commission, who are asking that their name be changed to the North Andover Commission on Ability Assistance. We have checked with the state because the state law actually refers directly to Disability Commission, so we wanted to make sure that if we change their name, they would still have the same authority. There's no concerns about that at all, so they're just asking to change their name.
That's great.
I think it's great. It just speaks for everybody in such a positive way. So I would move favorable action wholeheartedly.
I'll second that. Oh, sorry.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. 5-0, unanimous favorable action.
Okay, and then finally, Article
Yes.
9 is actually the conservation restriction for the Stevens Estate.
Okay,
So this is similar to the language that you've seen in the past, and the restriction would be held by the Conservation Commission, which is how we do all of our conservation restrictions.
Mr. Chair, I would move favorable action on this article.
thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
All right, any other discussion on this?
No, absolute no-brainer. I hope it gets through town meeting this time. I know last time we had some difficulty with it, but I hope this time it goes through unimpeded. It's
It
an
really needs to
important
be
thing to
protected.
do.
Really,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an important first step
Yep.
to protecting, a major step to protect that land.
Yep.
Well, I also would say that, all the discussion we've had around it, it's the number one thing that everybody agrees on, which is, let's start with where we agree. This is where we all agree, so, we had a motion, a second. All in favor? Aye. So favorable action by the Select Board for Article 9. Okay,
Okay,
good.
go ahead. We're done with the articles.
For
Sorry, I was
tonight.
so excited, I was keeping us going.
Yeah, that's as far as
Those are
we
the easy
get.
ones.
We'll work our way up
We
the
got the
hill.
tough ones coming up.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, so the next thing we've got, well, we're kind of pulling things together, is our board liaison. So with our new select board member, you have the opportunity to be a liaison to 4 openings. And one of the things that we haven't done is kind of chatted among ourselves here. If anybody wants to shift that, but I think our initial mission tonight is just to get Liaison in place. So with that, we have Liaison open for the Cable TV Advisory, the Planning Board, the Sustainability Committee, and the Recreational Complex Advisory Committee. A pretty interesting and broad array of committees.
You don't feel as though you need to take them all on. If there's any here that interest you, but if you're willing to take them all on, it's great. It's not, this isn't mandatory because you won.
I am so ready to jump in and take on these responsibilities. So there's some big responsibilities on this list, and I'm looking forward to making those relationships with those boards and being the liaison. So
Fantastic.
I'm up for the challenge.
And I will just add that I made a mistake and forgot that Selectman DiColigiero was the other member of the appointment committee, so now they don't have to have a quorum. So that's on me. So we will put that one on the 26th. I apologize for that. Selectman Spadili reminded me earlier, and I was like, oh. So we'll blame
and
Phil.
I do have an interest in serving on that committee.
So we'll make sure we do that one on the 26th for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I'm glad that we got these done. Hey, given everything you got, if that's the one thing that's okay, right?
I'll take it.
There we go. So we just need a formal motion to give our newest board member.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that the Select Board appoint our new colleague, Janice Phillips, to serve as a liaison to the Cable TV Advisory Committee, the Planning Board, the Sustainability Committee, and the Recreational Complex Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
Wonderful. Any other discussion?
Happy to have my marching orders.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You are
Thank you.
good to roll, as they say. All right. Governmental report. I don't think we've got anything.
anything.
Yeah.
I know we took a COVID break. I don't know what happened. I have plenty of stuff in my town manager's report.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I don't know.
it kind of fills
We
in.
did get a report on email just before the holiday. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, as you say, there's other things down the line. All right, so on our consent, we just have two items. One is to accept workplace safety and education grant in the amount of $22,000 from the Department of Industrial Accidents. That's impressive. And what was the genesis of this? How did we come
Dee
to
is the
this?
genesis of this. So Dee put forward a grant application, and it's really to do public safety, workplace safety training at DPW, and help us get to OSHA compliance. So
Thank you,
That's
Dee.
great.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Dee.
Awesome.
She
That
did a
is
great job.
I'm happy to say this combined with the Maya grant, we have almost $30,000 in training for DPW.
Wow.
It's amazing.
And that's what, that's interesting. We keep talking about safety, we're thinking about safety in a COVID world, but, there's still
Mhm.
Yeah.
Employee safety.
employment safety, so thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank Great job.
And I guess we need to vote on that separately, right?
Nope, you can take
No,
them
we got it.
collectively.
Okay, great. And then also accept the donation, the amount of $25 from Judith Lee to our fire department. So Judith, thank you, and we will certainly write you a letter of thanks from our board. So,
Mr. Chair, I
Yes.
move that we approve the consent items as presented.
thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
All right. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 5-0, all consent items approved. Thank you enough. And then we've just got a mechanical component here. We've got approval of our minutes. One is the open session meeting minutes of March 16th, 2021. Any revisions, changes? I'll hear a motion to accept otherwise. Yes.
Selectwoman Phillips, if she's going to recuse or not. She's welcome to
Going
vote.
to abstain from the vote because I was not part of the.
Yep, that's correct. Weren't here. You were just watching.
Yes.
As opposed to participating. So glad to have you on the participating side. Next one's yours. You're on. Okay. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we accept the open session meeting minutes of March 16th as written.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Pass 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you. And then remaining in abstention, open session minute from March 22nd, 2021.
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And again, 4-0 with one abstention. Old business. I think we just keep
It's
moving
really old.
forward. Town managers report. You're going to get your chance here now.
I know, I've got a
Melissa.
whole pile, so don't think that just because I didn't put any old business on, that I don't have
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
going on. All
Okay.
right, so, I'll get to the job log in 1 second. So I just attended the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Listening Session. So MVPC has done all the public input parts of this, and we had our final public input meeting today. Andrew Shapiro was our MC, and I just wanted to note, we had so many stakeholders on the call at 5 o'clock on a Monday night. Jeff Coco, Peter Boynton, both of our chiefs. I mean, it was such a good group. This is going to open up a lot of grant funding for us, which is amazing. So we will be bringing that to you. I believe the final report is being sent to the state next week, and then we'll be presenting it to all of you. And so we're very excited about that. The Sustainability Committee is having their cleanup day on April 25th, and there's more information available on our website. Today, the Senior Center had their first class. I sent you guys some pictures that Dee had sent to me. Dee is the acting director there right now as we're filling that position. She had nothing else to do, so we figured we'd give her that. But they had classes today, and they were in there knitting, and they looked so happy, and we were so happy. So we're really excited to welcome people back to the Senior Center. It was really nice.
Is there a requirement, though, that you, to be vaccinated, or I don't even know if that's legal?
No, we just asked you to.
Because most of them should be by now, and if
Many
not,
of
we need
them
to
are.
walk them down
Yes.
the hall and.
Many of them are. Nope, we just require them to go through the screening that we give to anyone who comes into any of our buildings. They stay 6 feet apart, they have to wear their mask, they have their temperatures checked. I think it's gonna take a little getting used to, right? We can't have any food, so that's a disappointment for everyone, but we're doing our best, and we were really happy to be able to do that today.
That is really exciting
Yeah,
news.
we were really excited. So, and then it's going along with Senior Center updates, as I let you all know over email, the tenant has now vacated the property. So we are working diligently on the purchase and sale agreement. We will have an update for you about that on your meeting on the 26th. I'm hoping that it could be with the purchase and sale agreement to sign, but we're getting very close on that, and we're really excited about that. We did have an issue with the tax bills today, and I know we did a robocall and we sent a lot of emails out. So at the end of the day, the problem is actually less than we thought, so that's good news. Everyone's tax bills that we have reviewed so far actually have the correct amount due. So what happened was, on your bill, there is a line that tells you what your tax would be for the entire year. And what happened was that it added CPC in. So CPC was listed twice on this top part where it subtotals, but the amount due is correct. So everyone's going to be getting a new bill where it's going to show your real estate tax actually separated out from your CPA funds. So your subtotal will be, and this person's bill said that their CPA was $93.11. So they'll get a new bill where their subtotal will be decreased by $93.11. But the actual bills that went out, so people who paid via escrow, anyone who's already paid, everything that we spot checked today was correct. So we will be sending new bills out just so people have a better understanding of what their bills look like. The one thing that you may notice is that some people's acreage was wrong. So if you had 5.3 acres, you don't now have 53. That apparently is a problem with the file. But we will be fixing that as well. It was an interesting, GovCAM had an interesting first day. But I said, you know what, it's all uphill from here, right? It can't be worse. So that was the issue with the bill, and we will be issuing new ones. We're doing a ton of recruitment, as you know, because we have so many retirements. So we have Irene, who retired on Friday. She kept telling me it was April Fool's Day that she was retiring. And we're doing the recruitment for that right now. We're on our second round of interviews. We've made an offer for HR director, so we'll be getting you more information on that soon. So we're really excited about that. We are also interviewing for town clerk. We're starting second round of interviews next week because Trudy is running for town clerk in her own community of Wenham. And is moving along. The Fire Chief Assessment Center is scheduled for Friday, April 23rd. So Dee and I will both be attending that, and so that's exciting. We also have posted right now the community service officer. So that's the animal control officer. She got a job in Andover. So we're not talking to them right now, but we do have that posted. And then you will notice, if you're kind of paying attention, that we have a ton of DPW positions posted. That's because we were having a really hard time with recruitment due to the salary issues that we were seeing, the inequities. Now that that has been improved, we actually have had an employee come back who had left, and we were all very excited about. And we're seeing way more interest in our positions. So we're really happy about that.
Are we going to finally fill that, what is it, the front end loader that's
Well,
been?
do you have your heavy equipment license?
We had-
We'll get you in all of these, community service.
Yep, the HMEO position has been there for a very long time, but I believe that we actually have a third applicant is in the process of being hired. So we, it is very exciting, you know, and when we're really happy that we've been able to get these positions filled. We have a new staff engineer who started a couple weeks ago. That position had been vacant for a very long time. Her name's Kelly Messer. So we're excited about that too. So those are those. And then I just wanted to do a brief update on Fireside. So we had our first negotiation session. So as you know, Selectman Valancourt and Selectwoman Smedili are our two negotiators. They come in separately. It actually worked out really well. We had a really good negotiation. We're working on a term sheet with them. I just sent some dates for next week to see if they worked for you or not. In the meantime, Fireside / the Weber Group has actually met with 3 nonprofits and are very optimistic about the conversations that they've had with them. So things are moving along really well, and we're very excited to be able to report back to you. Our next meeting is not till the 26th due to the school vacation week, so I think we'll probably have a lot of information when we come back to that meeting. I think that's all I have. I'm good. Thank you.
That's great. That's really exciting that the progress begins. And so that covers everything? No other?
Yes, I will say though, if anyone has any questions about their tax bill, they can feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to go over it with them to make sure that if they have any concerns or they see anything that they think is off, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'm happy to work through their bill with them.
I'm just curious, so that now that they all have to be sent out again, whose expense is that, or is that being talked
The
about?
company's going to be paying for that, not us. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
The company will pay for that since the bill was a mistake.
Okay,
We just finished the
that's-
conversion.
It's the principle of the thing, yeah.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
finished the conversion, and so this was the first bill, the second bill since the conversion. And conversions are difficult, and we had put it off for a while. So I'm glad we did it because it's much more efficient, but, you know, the Andover treasurer collector reached out to me today because he's local and said, "Oh, conversions." I'm like, I know. So, you know, we expected this, but yeah, we'll make sure that they pay for it, not us. But we also want to give everybody an appropriate bill, especially since the way we bill is biannually, so.
I'm glad you did the robocall,
I'm glad we did too.
because you'd be very busy on the phone the next few days. And then if people paid it, they'd be thinking, oh, I got to get some money back
Yeah.
now, or whatever. So no, I'm really glad that you did do that.
And remember, so many of our bills are escrow, so people were
Yeah.
panicked that their escrow paid too much. So it was good that we were able to get the information out and get it out quickly.
That's great.
All right. Well, that's pretty good. It's covering everything, I'd say. Select Board updates.
Okay, well, I'll start.
Yeah.
I don't normally comment on public comments that come in, but I do feel I want to say something about the letter that we received from the trustees. So back when we first started this whole process, or that we first started talking about the issues at the Stevens Estate, my very first go-to with then Town Manager Andrew Mailer was to discuss it with his trustees and see if they had an interest. So to say that I was disappointed again not to have them submit an RFP on time is, an understatement. So I was hoping to see them, with an RFP this time again, but, they submitted it late per the law. So I guess my other disappointment was that nowhere in the comments that they submitted tonight did they ever accept responsibility for that. And I think that was really doing a disservice to this town, because it makes it seem like that we rejected it when in fact it was submitted late. And I wish somewhere in their comments they had somehow accepted the responsibility for submitting that late. So And again, I am a huge fan of the trustees. I enjoy all their properties. I'm a member of the trustees. So to say that I was disappointed is an understatement, as I said, but I really wish that they had accepted some responsibility for getting that in late and not just kind of putting it on us that we did not accept their bid, so.
I will say, though, that some members of the trustees have expressed it.
I'm talking about the letter that we
I
received tonight
know, but
from Mr.
I
Vaughn.
have heard it verbally and embarrassment and things like that, but you're right, it was not in the letter. But maybe it was understood that they were already, felt pretty bad, but.
Oh, I wish they had mentioned it in the letter, other than just continually saying more than one time in the letter that the town did not accept their bid, and that's not the truth.
That's not really, no, you're correct in that.
So, and again, like I said, I'm a big fan of the trustees. I enjoy all their properties. I'm a member.
And I think
wish-
everyone who knows you knows that you do.
Yeah, so I wish,
You and the
they
dogs.
really had gotten it in, but they didn't, and it's not on us. So anyway, that's my comment.
Well, there is an opportunity,
And also, I want to
perhaps.
thank all the people from North Andover that came out to vote on last Tuesday and thought of me and voted for me, so I really appreciate everyone from the town. And it was, I think, a historical number of voters, because we had the mail-in ballots and then the in-person ballot. I think we had 4,000 voters, which was a huge number of voters.
That is a
So
lot.
thank you to everyone who came out and put their trust in me for another 3 years. So thanks.
Just getting back to the trustees perhaps have another opportunity as they speak with Fireside, and we don't know, could all work out in the end.
Anything else, Rosemary?
No,
Okay.
I'm good, I talked enough already tonight.
Laura?
I just have a couple of things. So the school committee, their subcommittee met and presented to the school committee. So they presented the 6 options that they have kind of researched and come up with, and that they will be putting into their survey, which will be, I believe they're meeting this week, and then the survey will go out to the community and to school. But they want to get it out to everybody, because obviously everybody is in town as a stakeholder in the schools, and the schools are a huge portion of our budget, and it affects everybody, so they'd like everybody's input. So that'll be going out, and they've done a ton of research, and what transitions and what configurations of the schools and what that's going to do for the town. So look for that. And then the other thing, the youth center, summer fun. Went on sale today, and all their programming for the middle school, and so they have put together, of course, another summer of great activities. So
Almost sold out.
is it? Yeah,
Wow.
Very close,
Yeah.
yeah.
They want to get the kids on.
yeah. Everybody, yeah. Well, I'm glad I signed up this morning then.
You can sign up today.
So yeah, and they're doing that, and they're planning for their. Is it Night to Shine? No. Is it Night to Shine? Yeah. So they're planning for that, and they're planning, I think, a golf tournament for a fundraiser for the foundation. So all good things.
I would like to circle back again to the Sustainability Committee and their April 25th event, which is going to be from 10 to 2 at the middle school. There is plenty of information available, but you can pick an area of town to clean up. They'll have information about composting and textile recycling. So, and also you can order rain barrels to be picked up on Mother's Day. So, and in addition, I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that I have made my pitch to be part of this team as someone who is focused on community engagement. And so I'm hopeful that, the voters have put their faith in me to serve, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm hopeful that at a future meeting, we can dive in a little bit to how we currently engage our residents and ways that we can sort of work to do that differently and better to get more people engaged and continually so as we move forward. So I'm really looking forward to doing this work, and I appreciate being part of such a great team.
We're glad to have you here again.
Thank you.
It was impressive, as you said, Dick, the turnout We're glad that our board is full and functional. My additions are just recognize our town manager here. We all know how wonderful she is. It's always nice when the broader community does that too. And the Northeast YMCA has recognized Melissa as one of 22 outstanding women in the Merrimack Valley and in this area to be formally presented, I think, in May. But it's really a recognition by, I think, the greater community that your work has impacted not just the residents of North Andover, but I think really helped set the tone for the Merrimack Valley, and I think given people some hope that, you know, we can find our way through this with hard work and a big heart, and it takes both. So I'm just really so excited for you to get that recognition, because my God, the heart and soul you put into it. We see that here. I would just tell people in this community, you have no idea. Well, you do. You see the results.
Thank you.
But what goes behind it, and the team, you know, and that's the other thing is Melissa's really inspired a tremendous team here at Town Hall. So thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
We're
I
so proud of
appreciate
you.
that.
We
Thank
really
you.
are.
I'm the lucky one with this team, for sure.
So our next meeting is the 26th, so we've got that jump over school vacation, and hopefully we'll see everybody, a few more people vaccinated by then, keep driving our rate down, be healthy, and I just need an adjournment.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
before we adjourn, can I just throw one other thing
Please.
I should have mentioned earlier, is the North Andover Merchants Association
Ah, yes.
is running their online auction right now for their scholarships.
Yes.
So it's online, you can go to the North Andover Merchants Facebook page, and the link is there to see all of the items they have for auction, and it runs through April 10th. It's a huge fundraiser for the merchants, and most of that money, I should say all of that money, goes back to the community. There were 3 young people recognized this year for scholarships. Lily Radcliffe got the Sylvie Fold Scholarship. Corey Friedman got the North Andover Merchants Association Scholarship for a male, and Daria DeSantis got the North Andover Scholarship for a female. So congratulations to those 3 seniors, and thanks to the North Andover Merchants Association for the great work they do. I think I have to do this now because Phil isn't here anymore. And he was always a North Andover Merchants Liaison, so I will gladly take up that mantle. So please go on, bid often, and bid high.
There's actually some great items. I was really impressed during this COVID year, at all the great things. So I don't think people will be disappointed if they go on there. And
Some wonderful baskets.
Oh, when is that? Start?
No.
That's cool. That's cool.
Over to you, Janice. That's good, that's good.
Janice is the farmer's market volunteer extraordinaire.
And really though, we should say, you know, while it's that auction, the fact they recognize Daria, Corey, and Lily, and I know 2 of those folks, friends of my kids, they're just phenomenal. And to be recognized in your own town like that is really, really special. So thank you, Dick, again, for being our liaison.
I don't know who was the Merchants of the Year this year. Does anybody know who was recognized as Merchants
maybe
of the
you're
Year?
not supposed to announce that.
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's something.
Maybe it's
that
a
comes
surprise.
out later.
I'm just
Okay.
Well, we'll wait for the next one. Yeah. We'll wait
Oh,
for the
okay.
26th, right? We'll see you there. We good?
Think so.
All right, well, thank you. Just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There we go. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Stay safe. See you in a few weeks, everybody.